is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
All right. Welcome to the Gridiron, baby. If you can give this video a thumbs up or maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking phenomenal. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. Please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose? It's totally free of charge. But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. If you want to help support my channel, description box below, very top link, takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So once again, if you want to help support my channel, it would mean so much to me, and I thank you in advance. And then finally, just underneath that, there's another link. It takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, The Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 10,500 members in the group, and it is doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I got internet access, I am putting stuff in this group darn near 365. It's called the New York Giants, The Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. Well, we got some very, it's not adding any wins to the win column or, taking away a ton of the sting that we've had halfway through the season. 2-6 halfway through the season. I know, shocking. You're just as shocked as I am. I thought we would be 8-0 right now, huh? But I think very, very well deserved. Very, very well deserved. For a team, that obviously as we keep weeks go by, we keep losing more and more players for the season. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll be at tight end by the end of the season if we just keep losing guys. We got a nice long laundry list once again of injuries. I'll go over that. But the 49ers they're not backing down on the injuries at all. I'll tell you that much. What's up, buddy? Better G-Man. What's going on, buddy? But the 49ers, I tell you what, they have a long list of injuries. We're going to go over the injuries in just a little bit. Also going to go over a little bit after we talk about the injuries, the Giants have injuries and they lose. Some teams like the 49ers have injuries and they win. Very interesting. But I said, good old, no Mr. Dart here. The NFL Rookie of the Month. I think very well deserved. Very, very well deserved. Yeah. It's one of these things. Well, you just don't know. You don't know if and when you're going to be allowed to, right? As we're finding out. You don't know if you're ever going to have it where Scatterboo, Malik Neighbors, Dart, maybe another stud wide. We're all on the same team at the same time, and they're all healthy. You just don't know. Right? You just don't know. For whatever reason, Malik Neighbors runs down the side, jumps up, boom, comes down, season's over with. Scatterboo runs across the middle, right? Lands on his ankle funny, whatever, like bam, season's over. You just don't know. You'd like to hope and pray maybe somewhere along the line, maybe we get all the guys together. And I said maybe we can add another weapon in the off season for Dart. Let's see what he can do. Yeah. It's a shame because, we have Andrew Thomas back. He's doing very well. Him and Illuminor doing very, very well. Right. But you don't know. But under the circumstances, Dart is doing very, very well, considering what he has. I mean, the talent, or maybe, I don't want to say the lack thereof, but I mean, we don't have a lot of guys on the field that scare you. Don't. Right. But very, very well deserved. I got to find where we at here. The NFL Offensive Rookie of the Month, Jaxson Dart. He's and also this too, which goes to show you. I mean, 2 things. Right? how long it's been since we have had a rookie, offensive rookie of the month. 11 years. And just goes to show you what it could come from. The last guy was in 2014. NFL rookie, offensive rookie of the month was, of course, OBJ, 2014. So not too bad of a player. So if Dart can, get up to that OBJ level, not maybe up in his brains, right? I mean, because sometimes OBJ was rather interesting, proposing to the punt net and all that stuff. But if Dart can, raise his game to the level of an OBJ, I mean, okay. So far, you have to be very, very happy. It certainly doesn't mean Cam Ward, by any stretch of the imagination, is a bad quarterback. Just look where he's at. Right? He's not doing so well. Maybe you put him someplace else and he might flourish. Right? But so far, you got to be pretty happy, right? Because possibly you don't know. You're never going to know. You'll never know. Had we lost to the Colts and we had 2 wins and we were picking number 1, who would we have taken? Everybody said it was going to be Cam Ward, right? Would we have taken Cam Ward? Then the interesting thing would have been, because we quite possibly have the defensive rookie of the year with Abdul Carter. So we might have got ourselves a twofer by winning that Colt game, right? Pushed us back a couple spots, so we didn't have to take Cam Ward. And I said, it would have been interesting. I mean, you're never going to know. You're never going to talk to Joe Shane. So, Joe, if you were picking, probably you never will know. Joe, if you were picking number 1, were you taking Cam Ward? I don't know if that would ever come around. But if we would, we got Cam Ward, who maybe is not as good as Jaxson Dart, and we wouldn't have traded back up into the first round to get somebody else. So we would have taken a second round, But we've also would have saved the draft pick as well because we traded away obviously draft picks to get Dart. But we got Abdul Carter and we got Jaxson Dart. So we might quite possibly have gotten the best quarterback in this draft class. And maybe. I'm not a draft guru. I'm not, never will be. I don't have 75 hours a day. Sit down and watch tape about. Don't do it. Never will do it. My life's too short. I don't have much time left, guys. I'm not wasting 95 hours a day watching tape of some third round or third string guard from Buffalo State Tech University School of Blind just to know what this 40 time. I don't do that. So, but this quarterback draft class, this one coming out, which was supposed to be one of the greatest of all time. I'm not so sure how great it is now. So between, maybe this quarterback draft class in 2026 is one that we had this year and then the one last year. Hey, Jaxson Dart's right up there. I mean, May, obviously, he's doing pretty doggone good. There's not really many guys that are much better than Dart so far, but this is Dart's first season in the NFL. The only thing is, obviously, if we keep this up, right, he might have a new head coach next season, so he might be learning a new offensive system next year. But that's putting the cart before the horse. But I think it's very, very well deserved. Giants quarterback Jaxson Dart has been named the NFL Offensive Rookie of the month of October. October's been nothing short of a roller coaster for the Giants. But the play of Dart has been the highlight of 2025 for Big Blue. So, once again. See, this is another one of those things, obviously, is that, in a season like this, which has been the same season. It's like Groundhog's Day, that movie, right, with Bill Murray, and it's been the same season for the past 300 seasons in a row. You know, you just got to look for the little silver linings in here. Maybe, if we're lucky, maybe one of these years we'll get a good coach and we'll get some good play and we'll win some games and we might have a chance maybe to go to the Super Bowl. But, I mean, as of right now, just the way it's been, you know, I mean, my goodness. I mean, McAdoo, so was it 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2023, 2024, 2025. So what, 8 of the last 9 years, just straight trash. Straight trash. So when you get a season like this, like 8 of the last 9, this 2022 was, you know, a very surprisingly good season for the Giants. But when you get a season like this, you just look for those little, you know, anything to give you hope for the next season. Just think, if darts, all that, you know, we might have our quarterback for the next 10, 15 years. He's young, right? Hopefully 10 plus seasons, if not 15. Right? I mean, wouldn't that be nice? I mean, you know, the guy's got he's got a lot going for him. Has a lot going for him. So we might have ourselves a quarterback. Apparently, the way it's been going in Indianapolis, apparently maybe we had our quarterback. We just didn't know it. I don't know. Wouldn't it just be a kick right in the crotch if Daniel Jones was the NFL MVP of the year? Wouldn't that be Dart entered the month as a new starter, riding the high of an upset win over the Chargers in the final week of September and took the NFL world by storm with the win over the Eagles on Thursday night. Dart followed that up with a strong performance against a top two defense in the Broncos, though it was ultimately a losing effort, not because of him. Dart showed his toughness as well as his skill in leading a go-ahead drive with 30 seconds left in the game, and the defense couldn't hold that. Unbelievable. Odell Beckham Jr. was the last Giants rookie to win the Offensive Rookie of the Month honors in November and December in 2014. We'll see if Dart is able to match Beckham with another strong month. Well, possibly. The competition's not going to get any easier, that's for sure. Giants' decision to trade up to 25th overall in the first round for Dart was initially viewed with some skepticism, but their faith has been rewarded through his first 5 games. He has easily been the best rookie quarterback since taking over as the Giants starter, leading rookies in passing touchdowns, total touchdowns, and passing. Probably one of them is passing yards because they say passing touchdowns there twice. That doesn't make any sense. So I guess it leads all rookies in passing yards, total touchdowns, and passing touchdowns. Once again, it's just now also that too, you know, it's when he's going up against like other rookie quarterbacks, chance, you know, other rookie quarterbacks like a Cam Ward, when you get taken usually by a team that needs a quarterback, usually they're not very good, right? Like the Titans. So it's not like he's going up against, you know, Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or, you know, other established quarterback, you know, but he's doing very, very well. As I said, once again, now our number 1 running back is no longer available for the rest of the season. Not that Tracy's much of a drop-off, if any kind of a drop-off at all. They're both different types of running backs, and we certainly have seen Tracy can take it to the house, as he did against the Broncos. Tracy's had multiple long runs between last season and this season, so him and Scatterboo are both very good wide receivers, so that's another one of the things you got to be very excited about going forward. Between Tracy and Scatterboo, it's not like we got Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley in the backfield. I'm not saying that, but we have 2 very young, capable running backs who can run the ball, different style running backs, but they're very good receivers. And once again, Tracy's in his second season, Scatterboo's in his first season, Dart's in his first season, Theo Johnson's in his second season. Malik Neighbors' second season. Wando Robinson, let's hope we bring him back. He's in his fourth season. Got a lot of young guys. Right, so hopefully the future's bright. Now, whether it's with Dable here or not, who knows? But let's see. In fact, Dart has been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL since week 4 and is 8th among qualifying passers in Dakota rankings, which blends EPA and completion percentage over expected. I mean, once again, and you also said, once again, you look at it, the Broncos played the Eagles. We beat the Chargers. Let's see. Yeah, some very good teams. Certainly some very, very good teams. Right? And he beat the Eagles. He also beat the Eagles too. So he's played some very good teams. Right? And he's had some very good stats. Once again, I think he didn't even play half a game with Malik Neighbors. Imagine if we had Malik Neighbors out there. And I said, it's the thing, you compare, try to compare different teams. You look at Jalen Hurts. Oh, he's good. No doubt about that. Absolutely can't question that. But, what would Dart do if he had Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert running around out there? They could turn around and hand the ball off to Saquon with a very good offensive line. What would Dart do with that? Dart don't have that. We had a number 1 wide receiver who's no longer available this season, and we have no other number 1 wide receivers. Right? So you look what he's playing with and what he's able to do. We put up 5 touchdowns against the Broncos. Of course, we only kicked, 1 extra point because the mother missed the extra points because we lost the game. But he put up 5 touchdowns against the Broncos on the road. Let's say hear no penalty, speak no penalty, see no penalty, didn't call the flag on Darius Slayton, the offensive pass interference, that frickin' moron ref. They were hand fighting. If you just kind of let it go, which maybe some refs might have done, maybe we have another touchdown. We have 27 points, maybe. Yeah. He didn't turn the ball over against the Eagles either, so he's doing pretty good. Can't complain whatsoever. Giant offense as a whole is depleted, and then once again, look how he's doing. But Dart's play gives them a chance to win every week, and Dart has far exceeded expectations and has proven to be immediately NFL ready. You can't complain about a rookie quarterback, right? Hopefully he's only going to get better. His play so far bodes well for his future development, and it seems like the Giants have their franchise quarterback for the foreseeable future. Now, I saw this here. Let me share my screen. Just going to show you kind of what Dart is able to do when he has to get outside the pocket, or if his first read isn't there. Let me share here. Gotta find it. Oh, here we go. You've seen this chart. One thing I love about being with so many Facebook groups, New York Giants Facebook group, a member of, is that people, they come up with so much information, so many different charts and graphs and stats and all that stuff. It's just amazing. So I found this chart. I mean, this is pretty cool. So it says here, right, quarterbacks that excel at creating plays outside of structure, which is something you have to do. I mean, you have to be able to do that. It's not your grandmom's NFL where the quarterback gets the ball, takes 3 steps back or 4 or 5 steps back or whatever, and stands there in the pocket and he waits for the guy. Okay, it's coming at you and complete the pass, and they run down. Yeah, it ain't that. If you can't do this, you're in trouble. And especially if you're on a bad team and you can't do this, boy, you are definitely in a lot of trouble. But look at Mr. Dart here. Plays outside of the pocket and pass attempts beyond the first read. Create rate 22%. Look who's up here. Number one, Dart. Now Patrick Mahomes, I guess, per drop back does it more often. I guess that's what I'm figuring this does, because it's plus 0.6. So Mahomes maybe does it more often or something, but it's like, it looks, the number here is 22%. So quarterbacks that excel creating plays outside of structure, pass plays out of the pocket, and pass attempts beyond the first read. So Dart is number one up here. He doesn't, he's not in the lead over here like with Darnold and Mahomes are. But 22%, looks like about 22% create rate. He creates plays outside of the pocket. Jaxson Dart, the rookie. Right? He's only played, 5 games? He leads the NFL. Not too bad. Same thing here. Yeah, look what, you got Jalen Hurts here, okay? But, look what Jalen Hurts, who has to throw the ball to. Caleb Williams here. Look what Caleb Williams has to throw the ball to. They made sure he has a couple good wide receivers. Right? Jalen Hurts has a couple good wide receivers. Jaden Daniels has a couple good wide receivers. Patrick Mahomes has a future Hall of Fame tight end to throw the ball to. You got to give some shout out to Drake May. He's doing very, very well. Kyler Murray, right? And Justin Herbert, Baker Mayfield. So look at the company he's in right here. Up here, you just circle these guys right here. It's a pretty doggone good company. But his plays, I guess it's 22% of the time he makes plays outside of the pocket. His pass attempts beyond the first read, 2025. So, he's one of the things that was when Tracy had that long touchdown run. If you look against the Broncos, he goes up to the line of scrimmage. Tracy's behind, Dart's in the shotgun formation, and Dart behind his back, holds his hands behind his back. And I saw somebody mentioned this in one of the videos that I saw, and Dart was I guess looked at how they were lined up, I guess knowing what the blocking assignment is and all. And I guess somehow he gave a hand gesture, hand signal to Tracy, who was behind him, which way to run. Turns around and hand the ball off, and Tracy takes it to the house. There was another time it was I don't know if it was his first touchdown pass to Little Jordan Humphrey in exhibition or not, but he called something. He made a hand signal to Little Jordan Humphrey. It was an ex-NFL quarterback who was talking about it. I can't remember who it was, but was talking about it, and he saw Dart make a change, and I guess he told Little Jordan Humphrey just to take off. He threw a touchdown. Just imagine, what Dart can do if we get him some good weapons. He's got to get better. He's definitely he's got to get better. Sometimes he holds the ball a little too long. Some of those sacks are on him. Instead, holding it, and finally gets sacked instead of holding it, and just before he just throws the ball away or at the ground, on the ground at the feet of a receiver or something like that. But so he's got some things to work on. But first few games, 4 or 5 games, he can't be bummed out. Just think if we actually had a defense last week. The defense stops the other team, gives the ball back to your offense. Right? Would have been a much closer game. So, Now, one of the things that they were talking about, and this I'm going to go over in an article they were talking about, is that maybe if it wasn't so bad, they may not have had to, or they may not have done surgery that night per se, maybe in Philly. But apparently, as bad as it was, that's why they had to do the surgery that night in Philadelphia. That's why I guess he didn't come back to New York. Because some of it you couldn't maybe see. Because I guess being also in the ankle, right? You got your sock pulled up. And, and something happens with the ankle. Maybe dislocation, but maybe there's also a little compound fracture or something like that, whatever. Maybe you can't see that because maybe the sock covers it up. Well, if you got somebody, maybe a bottom lower leg injury, maybe the socks don't go up that high, whatever. You can see, see that the legs snap. Maybe you can see the bone sticking out, whatever. So initially, it just seemed like maybe he dislocated his ankle. I'm glad it wasn't me. It looked very painful. But apparently, he was a little bit more involved in it than just that. But hopefully, his recovery timeline should be good to go for next season. He's got a long 6 months or 8 months, but he should be good, ready to rock and roll for next season. I mean, he's going to do. That's one nice thing about Mr. Scatterbo. He's going to do everything in his power, humanly possible, to make sure he's back on the field next season. Where are we at? Here we are. So Scatterbo's gruesome Giants injury was even worse than it looked. Cam Scatterbo's injury proved to be as bad as expected, and then some. Hold on, I'm going to move my legs. There we go. All right. Not only did the rookie suffer a season-ending injury, dislocated ankle on Sunday, but he also sustained a fibular leg fracture and a deltoid ligament ankle region rupture, according to the NFL Network. Scatterbo underwent surgery Sunday night, which reportedly was too close to the wound. Wow. And the Giants announced that as he left the Philadelphia hospital Monday morning. Obviously, he wanted to go and thank everybody. There have been questions about why Scatterbo had to go surgery so quickly. Why couldn't he make it back to New York? Up here. Why did he have to have it in Philadelphia? Not that there's anything bad about that. There are some very good hospitals, and that there are. I live about 20, 25 minutes from Philadelphia. There's some very good hospitals in Philadelphia. But why do you have to go undergo surgery so quickly after the Sunday's game? And this report helps clarify that as well. The medical staff placed an air cast on Scatterbo after his ankle bent the wrong way while being tackled. And with the injury being so graphic that Fox refused to show a replay. With the injury resulting in an open wound, it necessitated that Scatterbo be treated right away compared to, say, the delay that Malik Neighbors got with his ACL surgery. An open injury is considered an orthopedic emergency, and the big concern is that the sterile inside can be contaminated by bacteria on the dirty outside, and you can give an infection. An infection can complicate whatever injury you have. Said a doctor, an assistant professor of orthopedic surgery at NYU Grossman School of Medicine, who did not operate on Scatterbo, but he told the Post, in general, these are injuries we want to wash out with sterile saline and place the patient on antibiotics as soon as possible. Yeah, you don't want to get nothing infected. The fact that he had surgery Sunday night probably tells us that they felt it was very time sensitive. If you were able to get the ankle back in place, sometimes you would let the swelling go down for a week or two before proceeding with definite treatment. The lingering question is when Scatterboo can potentially return, with the Giants coach Brian Daboll stating that the former Arizona State star has a long road ahead of him. Scatterboo is roughly 8 months to prepare for training camp, and the doctor told the Post there's a good chance Scatterboo could be ready for July 2026. The NFL Network report said that the Giants expect him back for the offseason program. And I said, he's going to do everything in his power. Right? That's another one of the things, you got to, give, obviously, Shane, Brandon Brown, right? The guys, the upper management, bringing in or drafting, guys of that caliber, right? He's going to do whatever humanly possibly he can to be back as soon as possible. He's not going to want to miss any time for next season. And it says here, the devil is in the details. It really depends upon how quickly he gets through every phase. The ankle suffered a lot of trauma. It's going to take some time for all that energy to calm down. The main thing is you want to be like Goldilocks. You want to be doing everything just right. I never thought of it like Goldilocks, but so he's got to, whatever the doctors tell him to do, he's got to, But I said, without question, he's going to try to do everything he humanly possibly can to be back here as fast as possible. But that was one of the reasons why. And, sometimes guys get injured, and it's like, they'll take care of that when they get back to New York. They'll set up, and maybe Monday they'll take, they'll get the surgery, right? But when he couldn't leave Philadelphia without getting operated on, it was obviously that was the reason why. It was some kind of open wound, and they wanted to make sure that it certainly didn't wind up get infected. All right, talking about injuries, right? I mean, wow, both these teams, laundry list. I mean, usually, the way it works out with the Giants, usually 90% of the time, usually the Giants have a longer laundry list of injuries than their opponent. Not so much this time. The 49ers, they I don't know, usually seem to get rather injured. Once again, it's one of those things. Why some teams get injured a lot, quite often, or year in and year out, and other teams don't seem to. Don't know. But let's go over the injuries. There's a lot of them. The thing is with the 49ers had a lot, but some of them do seem to be coming back just in time to play the Giants. That is obviously the big game. Every game is big, but there's a big one for the 49ers because they lost last week. They fell to 5-3. They want to make sure, they want to try to win. They want to try to keep pace in the NFC West, but they also want to, keep pace for a playoff spot. And this is, any team, anybody sees the Giants, it's like, this is a get-right game, right? This is a win, right? This is a W right here. So, all right, let me find out. Here we go. All right. And this. All right, here's the full injury report for Thursday. Guys who did not participate: Bryce Huff, Jake Brendel, center, and Ricky Pearsall, the knee. They had 3 guys that did not participate. Then they had limited in practice: Gross Matos, D. Winters, Alfred Collins, Sam, I'll just call him Sam, Jordan Elliott, Brock Purdy, Ben Barch, and Upton Stout. So these guys are limited, but once again, does not mean that they will not play. Now we're kind of, it still kind of seems like it's a little bit up in the air whether Purdy will be playing or whether Mac Daddy Jones will be playing. But Mac Daddy's been doing pretty good. Then they got guys who were injured but were full participation. Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Mac Daddy Jones, Jennings, Davis, and Spencer Burford. So they, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Got 7 guys here, but you'll notice here Trent Williams. I mean, that was just a rest day. That's all. Unbelievable tackle. Christian McCaffrey, the Skittle man, and the quarterback. And then their other quarterback. Mac Daddy's got a knee. Purdy's got a toe, but you look right here, McCaffrey, who is not really, who is having a very good season per se. Lots of yards from scrimmage. A lot of his yards from scrimmage are coming from the receiving route. He's only averaging about 3.5 yards a carry, so he's carrying the ball a lot. He has, a decent amount of rushing yards, but that's because he's carried a lot. I mean, averaging 3.5 yards a carry. The 49ers as a team are not averaging a ton per carry, but they're playing the Giants, so anything's possible. But I said, if we look here, there's 7 guys who were on the injury list, so-called, who were in full participation. I said, then you go, how many we got here? We got number 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Right, 15. And you got the other 3 guys who haven't played 15. So they had 18 guys listed. 3 of them did not participate. So maybe we'll have to wait and see. Maybe Pearsall, Brindle, and Huff may not play. We'll have to wait and see. But 18 guys were listed. As I said, I'm going to go over it in just a short bit here. It's just odd, though, because we're going to go over the so far what the 49ers injury looks like for this season, and they just keep winning. Unlike the Giants. Like we lose a guy here, number 1 wide receiver, I run, a lot of trouble. All right, so, and then the Giants. So one thing you'll notice here, right? What do we got here? Guys who did not participate. We're going to go over this a little more depth and detail in just a minute. But Debo, Bellinger, Illuminor, Flott, and Green. So we have a nice little guys who did not participate. Cornerback. Then we have limited participation. Bo Collins with a quadricep, Chris Manhurst with an illness, and Javon Holland with a knee. So between Holland and the 3 cornerbacks, we have added. Let's see here. What we got? We have 5, 8 guys. 4 of them are in the secondary. Then we have guys of full participation. Jalen Hyatt. Now he had, I think it was a wisdom tooth or wisdom teeth taken out, so he missed the day. But he's not injured. He just had the wisdom teeth taken out. Tyler Newman with a foot, Rico Payton with a groin, and Greg Van Roten. It was a rest day for him. So even though these guys were full participants, Newman and Payton, still both have something a little wrong with them. So if you got Payton with a groin, you got Newman with a foot, that's 2 guys. Javon Holland with a knee. Then you got Green, you got Flott, and you got a Debo. That's a lot of guys in the secondary who are banged up. Not that, if you've played the whole season long so far, and you've played any amount of time on the field, you're going to have some kind of, bumps or bruise or something. It's unless you just don't hit anybody. But if you hit somebody or somebody's hitting you or whatever, you're going to have something going on with you. But the Giants have quite a few casualties, as you're seeing here, in the secondary, which has not really been very well for the Giants, especially their defense. Hopefully they can turn things around this week. But so the Giants here have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 guys. So the 49ers at 18, the Giants at 12. So that, I said, it's not very often that the Giants have less injuries than their opponents, though. But it seems quite often, for whatever reason, the 49ers usually seem to have a lot of injuries. Now, as I said just a moment ago, the Giants' secondary injury concerns continue. Because let's not forget, Flott, our best cornerback so far this year, with his concussion. Now, if Debo can't go, Flott can't go. Wow. Whew. Whew. It could be rather ugly. Could be rather ugly. So the Giants' defensive secondary injury concerns continue. Giants could be down 3 cornerbacks on Sunday against the 49ers. Now, of course, Cordell Flott is among 3 of the Giants' top cornerbacks who are in jeopardy of missing Sunday's game against the 49ers. Giants' injury report primarily remained the same, according to head coach Brian Daboll, who addressed it with reporters before Thursday's indoor practice. With 2 exceptions are the returns of guard Greg Van Roten, who had like a vet day, just to rest and recuperate, and Jalen Hyatt, who has a wisdom teeth pulled out. So neither one of those guys is injured. But that means there is no notable change in the status in the defensive secondary, where cornerbacks Paulson and Debo, Cordell Flott, and Art Green were unable to practice. Flott was spotted jogging on the side during the media viewing part of practice. The Giants could be getting cornerback Rico Payton, whose 21-day window was opened on Wednesday, back from the groin injury that landed him on IR after he was claimed off waivers at the start of the season from the Saints. New York also has Deonte Banks, Corey Black, Nick Jones, and Jarek Bernard-Converse at cornerback. Wow. I mean, could you imagine if we had to put Banks out there, Black out there, Nick Jones, and Jarek Bernard-Converse out there? Could you imagine? Well, thankfully, Drew Phillips hopefully will man the slot. The other injured players of note include, obviously, Daniel Bellinger, Jermaine Illuminor, Chauncey Golston, once again with a neck, all who missed the second day of practice. I mean, Golston has been, he's been like a forgotten man. I mean, it's just every week he seems like he's on the injury report. In other news, Javon Holland, with his knee, who was a limited participant on Wednesday, remained limited, as the receiver Bo Collins, tight end Chris Manhertz, and Tyler Nubin was added to the report with a foot issue. So, I mean, could you imagine if we got Tyler Nubin, right, with a foot issue? Now, regardless if Nubin plays or not, he's got something wrong with his foot. That's not too good if you're trying to play football. But when you got Holland injured and you got Nubin with a foot, then we got 3 cornerbacks here might miss time. Wow. Oh, my goodness. In a semi-related development, defensive lineman Dexter Lawrence, who repeatedly stressed that his injured elbow has not been a cause for a sluggish start this season, went through the media viewing portion of practice without the brace he had worn on his elbow. Well, boy, we'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see if taking the brace off helps Sexy Dexy at all. You talk to a lot of, or you listen to some videos and stuff like that. Especially you talk to people who play with Dexter Lawrence. Yeah, none of his teammates, none of his coaches, for the most part, are going to say anything negative about him. But something's obviously, Houston, we got a problem. There was times last year where he was getting double teamed. And there was just times last year when he was getting double teamed and he was just taking over games. I mean, he's getting double teamed this year. He's not taking over games. Something's different. Something, right? I mean, he played 12 games last year and he had 9.5 sacks. I think he has half a sack or 1 sack this season. Right. I mean, he was just taking over games last year. It's not even close. The video I did a video, I think the last time, was it maybe Monday night or so? Yeah, Monday. And he was talking about with Dexter Lawrence. I think PFF, I think he rated out like a 47 this past week against the Eagles, against the backup center. I mean, when that center snaps the ball, Dexter should have him by the throat and just throw him into the third deck. I mean, that guy should be having nightmares still to this day about playing against Dexter Lawrence. That wasn't the case. So something ain't right there. Now, whether it's the his elbow or not. Yeah, obviously something's not right there. Let me show you real fast here what the depth looks like at not looking really good here. There we go. The depth chart. Love these pop-up ads here. Oh my goodness. Whoops. What the heck? Oh, trying to X out of it. There you go. That's better. Man. All right, defense. Here we go. All right. I mean, look, the guys back here, right? Banks, Bo Braid. I mean, I did a video, the Killer Bees. We got Banks, Braid, and Belton. Bernard-Converse, and Black. So we got 5 Killer Bees. These guys here. Some of these guys might be in the game. I mean, let me know if any of these guys scare you. Bernard-Converse, Corey Black, Nick Jones, Art Green, Dane Belton, Bo Braid, and Deontay Banks. These might be. But I do believe Phillips will be good to go, and possibly Newman will be good to go. But looks like he has some type of a knee issue now with his foot. So could be some bad times here. Really bad times for the Giants, unfortunately. Which obviously leads me to this here. So when the Giants, which also kind of goes a little bit of hand in hand, maybe coaching, but also obviously maybe a little lack of depth, right? But it's when the 49ers get injured, they win. But when the Giants get injured, they lose. I mean, I'll show you, how many. I think the 49ers so far this season, if I counted, I think they had 19 guys at one point in time going injured reserve, and they're 5-3. 19 guys. show you the screen. All right. Okay. All right, now this is, we got a 49ers here. All right. They're 5-3. They just lost the game here to the Texans. They lost one to the Bucks, and they lost a tough one to the Jaguars. But they beat the Seahawks, they beat the Saints, they beat the Cardinals, and they beat the Rams in Los Angeles. The Rams are very good. They beat the Falcons. Then they lost a tough one to the Bucks. And this one here against the Texans, this was a tough one here. They only had 223 total yards of offense. I mean, the Texans literally doubled them in yardage and all. But regardless, yeah. But you look here. I mean, with the 49ers, they got to play the Giants. They got to play home against the Rams, who they beat. Then they got to play the Cardinals again. They got to play the Panthers. They got to play the Browns, and they got to play the Titans. Yeah, so they got some easy games coming up, starting this week, obviously against the Giants. But you'll notice, right, that they are 5-3. They even have a backup quarterback in there, and they're 5-3. And we go to the injury report so far this season. So let's count the guys who have gone on injured reserve for the 49ers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, scroll up. All right, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, the Skittle man. He was on injury reserve. One of the best players. He was on injury reserve for 6 weeks, and they're still 5-3. So we got 11, 12. We got the walking wounded down here, 12, 13. St. Brown, right? Very good wide receiver. So we got 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, 18. I thought it was 19. 18. It looks like it's about 18 guys they've had on injured reserved. 18 guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. So look, Brock Purdy. He's been his whole season. He's been out, been questionable, out with a toe here, and he may not be playing this week either. But with Purdy, it's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. I've had 41 guys, 18 who landed on injury reserve, and 41 guys who had some type of injury designation. Let's see and they're 5-3. And both their quarterbacks, Mac Daddy Jones and Brock Purdy, were on the injury list. So let's see. Let me go here, and we'll go and take a peek at the Giants. It's good coaches versus horrible. Yep. That's why Shanahan's a very good coach. Really. Share the screen. Let me show you the Giants here. All right, so now, of course, we know the Giants are 2-6. So the 49ers had, 18 guys on injured reserve. Giants got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 guys on injury reserve. We have half as many. They had 18. We have 9. How many guys we got with injury designations? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So we got 30. So they've had 11 more guys with an injury designation. Plus, so they had 18. Now, I just noticed this here. And I said 9 for the Giants. Well, Scadabo, he's on injury. He's going on a season-ending IR. So they just haven't given that to him here. So the Giants, basically, if you want to go with Scadabo too, Giants have had 10 guys on injury reserve. But once again, the 49ers have had 18. Giants have had 30 guys with an injury designation. The 49ers, 41. And I said, you look at the 49ers, I mean, they've had a lot of good guys. I said McCaffrey, Skittleman, Trent Williams, both their quarterbacks. So, just, very, very disheartening. Because you almost kind of, I mean, the Giants had a bunch of injuries. We had 5 games left to go in the season, and we had a bunch of injuries. Those 5 games, we might win 1. Or maybe if the football gods were smiling upon it, maybe somehow by some small miracle we would win 2 games. Just the way it's been going of late. But if we got injuries, you can pretty much forget about it. I said we might get a win here, maybe a win, but for the most part, forget about it. I said you got teams like with the 49ers, all those injuries, guys on injury reserve and all that, and they go into each game. Obviously, the Giants do too, as well. Of course, it's not the guys don't go in there. Oh, we're gonna lose. I get they have the they're upbeat. We're gonna win. We got a chance, and of course. But after the game's over with, it's like, yeah, we lost. Giants lost again. But you see with these other teams, right? The other teams. When the Giants get the injuries, it's like, forget about it. How much are we going to lose by this week? How much are we going to lose by, and how bad is it going to be, and what horrible things are going to happen to the Giants and all that stuff, right? Because we got injuries. But I said, like teams like the 49ers with all those injuries, they still go into games and they still have a chance. You realize, I mean, all those injuries and injury reserve and all that, they beat the lowly Giants, right? They'll be 6-3. 6-3. And they kind of an easy, not almost a real easy schedule, but they got some easy games coming. So you can see where they would certainly got a good chance to win at least 10 games, even with all those injuries. It brings me to this. Our last 50 games. When's it going to get better? When's it going to get better? When's something going to change? For the better. Right? I did this. Oh, it's always something. We're always, I mean, one of the big things is this past week. Now we're 13, 36, and 1. After we started with 7-2. We started 7-2. All right, so I'm going. I think we were. What would that be? 2-5. We were 2-5-1. The rest of that season after we started 7-2. 2-5-1. Then we were 6-11. Then we're 3-14. Now we're 2-6. And I think if I added that up, I think it's 13, 36, and 1. So we won 13 of our last 50 games. Yeah. Really, it's time for a change, really. If everything has to be absolutely freaking perfect for us to win a football game, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I mean, you figure all these injuries that we have, how many more games are we going to wind up winning the rest of this season? Right? I'll just show you. I mean, the first 9 games of 2022, 7-2. Just kind of makes it's like, wow, how do we do that? Here we are. Okay. Hey. Now we were 7-2. I think the Lions had a bye week or something like that. They came back and then they put a this is right around the Lions here started like 1-6 and then they just started taking off. And that's after once they won this game, it was right around here. The Lions, let me say, right around there, that's when the Lions started turning things around with Campbell as the coach. And this past few seasons, they've been really, really good. It was right around there. I think they started like 1-6, if I'm not mistaken, this season here. And they finished 9-8. So where were we at? Yeah, 1-6. They started 1-6. Then they won 2, 3, and okay. Just before that's when they started turning it around. But let's see right here, they were 1-6. They lost a tough one. This was a very exciting game, very, very exciting game. This Eagle Lion game, very exciting. I remember watching that on TV. But then they finally beat the Commanders, so they were 1-1. Then they lost the next 5 games in a row, and these Lions were 1-6. Then all of a sudden, they just started turning things around. They beat Green Bay, then they beat the Bears, and they came in and beat us. Then they lost, obviously, the Bills, but they lost a tough game to the Bills. But then they beat Jacksonville, Minnesota, the Jets, and they won, 5 of the last 6 games? So they really started turning things around. But unlike, with the Lions, how they turned things around, we went the exact opposite way. We beat the Texans. So we got beat up pretty good by the Seahawks. But we some of this too, right? You look at it too. We did have a little bit of some luck on our sides about time, right? But you figure with the Jaguars, they were going in for a touchdown. We tackled the receiver, like the 1 yard line. I remember he got stood up around the 1 or the 2, and he was fighting his way in, and then we started pushing him back, and some of their offensive linemen, I think, ran down the field and tried to push him in, but he wound up falling down. He's like a yard short as the time ran out. So if they had another play or so, they're scoring a touchdown, they wound up winning the game. So we won. We won fair and square. But if the game was one more play longer, quite possibly we'll lose this game. Now this one here, this is another phenomenal, very exciting game. Kayvon stripped the ball. Then we had Kayvon stripped the ball, and then Lamar threw a bad interception on the ball. I think the ball got snapped over his head. He ran back, picked it up, and he scrambled out. He threw a bad pass, very bad pass. But that was a very exciting game. Then the Packer game overseas, Rodgers had the ball, and I think the last 2 plays, I think we knocked the passes down, but they were down around our goal line. They could have, if Rodgers scored a touchdown there, they wound up beating us. We beat the Bears by 8 points, lost a tough one to the Cowboys. We beat the Panthers, who stunk that year. We beat them by 3. Then we beat the Titans. We could have lost that game if their field goal kicker would have made the 42-yard field goal, whatever it was. I think his time expired. But so there's, we were 7-2 at one point, but there's a few of these games in there we certainly could have lost. But the point is, we were 7-2. And then after that, here's what you got. And I'm not including the playoff games, just the last 50 regular season games. Loss. So out of the last half of the season, we had 2 wins. I mean, I certainly don't need to go over all the last 3 seasons here, but man, you kind of get. I mean, after you start 7-2, then we started 7-2 in 2022. Then we started 2-8. We started 2-8. Season's over, but we wound up 6-11. Obviously, the last season, 3 wins. I mean, you start the season 2-13. Wow, 2-13. Then, of course, this season here, just oh, my bad. Obviously, we don't need to know more about that this season here. Right, 2-6. So, all things add up. Right, 13, 36-1. And you also look at it too. I mean, Daniel Jones, how's he doing with the Colts? Didn't we beat the Colts last year? And we whooped up on them. We stunk. And we whooped up on them. Now the Colts are 7-1 with our quarterback, and he's a. I mean, think about this. Last season, Saquon Barkley was a MVP candidate. I wonder if he would have broke the record, the Russian record. I wonder if he would have been the NFL MVP. Possible, but how's Xavier McKinney doing with the Green Bay Packers? Green Bay Packers doing? Not too bad. I'll be pulling for. I'll be a big cheesehead in a couple weeks because the Packers play the Eagles in Green Bay. Well, the Packers kill them. But how's Xavier McKinney doing? He did good here. Don't get me wrong. But Saquon Barkley goes to the Eagles. Leonard Williams, how's he doing with Seattle? Now, the one thing is with Leonard Williams is, he was expensive. He was expensive, right? So if we had him and Dexter Lawrence, maybe we don't have Brian Burns because you can't have the whole defense. You can't pay everybody on the defense $20 million a season. You can't do it. But that's it. And then you look at Daniel Jones. How's Daniel Jones doing? He's doing pretty good. Colts are 7-1. We're 2-6. Daniel Jones was here with us, and we couldn't get him to play good. I mean, their offensive line is a little bit better than our. Jonathan Taylor's a pretty good running back, but he's a possible MVP candidate. He wasn't an MVP candidate when he was with the Giants. So. What is it? Is it coaching? How long are you going to wait around for it to get better? It's 13, 36-1. After this week, quite possibly 13, 37-1. I mean, we're literally, over the past, if we wind up losing the next few games, which we might, we might literally be 13 in three games. We could literally be 13 and 39-1. And that would be a 250 winning percentage. Mr. Mara has he's got at the end of the season. Well, one thing he wanted to do is, as he always says, one of the things was, I'm sick and tired of seeing the other teams walk up and down the field on us. Well, that's continuing to happen. So something's going to change there, no question. The other thing he's got to do, he talks about, is he said, I want to feel good. Are we going? It's not so much, how many wins do you got to have? Well, if I have 9 wins, I'll feel good. If I have 8 wins, It's not so much that. If you win, you can win 6 or 7 games maybe with the rookie quarterback and feel good about the direction you're going. But I mean, as of right now, I can't. Halfway through the season, we're 2-6. You got to feel good about the rookie quarterback. But with Dable there, can't see it getting any better. I mean, took a quarterback that we couldn't work with, goes to another team, and they're 7-1. There's so many things we can go on and on and on, but especially now with the injuries, we got a lot of injuries on this team here. It's almost guaranteed to be a loss. So is that anything ever going to get better? I can't see it happening. Now, as I said, Mr. Mara's got to, at the end of the season, he's got to sit down and think, Has Shane and company supplied Dable and company with enough talent to, produce a decent team? Maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 wins or whatever. Has Shane done that? Has he supplied the coach and the team, with enough talent? If he says, yeah, well, maybe Shane stays and Dable goes bye-bye. Or maybe he just cleans house. That's one thing he certainly didn't want. He doesn't want to keep the turnover. Certainly doesn't want to keep doing that. But, I mean, the way things are going right now, I mean, I said, we're lucky to win another 5 games. So we'll have to wait and see. But regardless, whether Shane stays or not, I mean, if Bowen's not gone, he did very good when he was with Tennessee, especially his run game defense. That's not happening here. Not happening here. And with the quality talent that we have, so something's got to change. But anyway, it's upcoming week. Anything's possible. Any given Sunday, anything's possible. New York Giants and the San Francisco 49ers. All right, guys, been 1 hour and almost 13 minutes. Benny G, man, good talking to you, brother. Thanks for hanging in there with me. So whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. If anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Means the world to me as always. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants! Woo! Oh, yeah.